All right, what up, YouTube? You guys ready to dive deep? Let's dive down the Kadena rabbit hole. Let's make some Kadena price predictions, and let's talk about like the overall market as far as what I'm seeing in the industry from like an outside perspective. If I step back and I say, okay, what projects am I looking at that have serious potential, that are making waves in the industry? What are they doing and how are they doing that? And then what has Kadena been doing? Because Kadena is becoming a threat, right? So we see these other projects that are coming out and trying to claim like they can do all these other things and they can't really do it. And then it's just, you know, Kadena's got to play things safe, man. They got to play it by the books. They got to be extra careful about what they say. And when I say other blockchains, like what are other blockchains doing? So I wanted to kind of like analyze and take a look at like Ethereum. Okay, so if Kadena's going to flip Ethereum, what does Kadena have to do, right? Kadena needs to have a blockchain that has protocols that are generating revenue. Last month on Ethereum, in 30 days, they did $1.1 billion in revenue. That's wild. OpenSea did 260 million. That's how much that protocol generated in revenue. Uniswap, 120 million. Binance Smart Chain, 120 million. Pretty wild, huh? So now take a look at some transactions, right? So like, okay, what are all these blockchains doing as far as transactions in a day? Like how busy is their blockchain? I did a little bit of research. This blue bar right here is Solana daily transactions versus every other chain. Stellar XLM, I want to say, has hit like 10 million now. I think that was their record, maybe a little bit less. So 10 million in a day, that's a lot of transactions. That's a really active network. Now Ethereum maxed out at 1.3 million. Pretty cool, right? Bitcoin maxes out at about 300,000. And that is max for Ethereum, by the way. Like absolute max that Ethereum can handle is probably 1.3 million. XRP maybe can handle a 10 or 20 million, 30 million maybe. They're centralized. But either way, not even at 1% real world adoption, because that's what everybody says. Literally everybody in the industry, everybody you talk to, like maybe we're at 5%, maybe we're at 1%. It just depends on who you ask and who you're talking to. But taking a look at what Solana's doing per day compared to every other chain in the industry, and Solana can't keep up, and that's Solana doing 1,500 transactions per day on average. If we went on to Solana Block Explorer right now, they'd be doing 2,600 transactions per second. Let's take a look. 2,446. That's per second. So there's 60 seconds in a minute. There is 60 minutes in an hour. There are 24 hours in a day. That's 211 million transactions a day. Isn't that wild to think about? So right now, the way Kadena stands, their blockchain can do, I want to say 9 million transactions per day. I don't know how to verify that and just confirm that, but Kadena transactions per day on Google, if that's right, can handle over 9 million transactions every day right now. So then if they scale to 50 chains, we would assume that roughly 20 million, right? So think about how much Kadena is going to have to scale and how fast they're going to scale when the network gets as busy as Solana. So to keep up with the same amount of transactions that Solana is doing right now, just today, is 129 to 218. So that's just 2,500. Now say Solana gets up to 5,000 transactions, so that would double. That would be like 5 million transactions. Let's say that number was out when Kadena only had 9 chains, and now they can do, so let's say they can do like 1 million transactions per chain. So that's 5 million transactions a day, and they're doing 1 million transactions a day per chain, which they'd have to be able to do more transactions than Ethereum per chain. So that's a good question. I wonder how many transactions Kadena can do per chain, because you would think that they'd be equivalent to something like at least more than Ethereum. If Ethereum can do 1.3 million per one chain, you would think that Kadena could do at least 5 to 10 million per chain. Let's just say it's 5 million. So if Kadena can do 5 million transactions per day per chain, that would be equivalent to what Solana would be doing when Solana has a market cap roughly of 100 billion, if I had to take a guess. If the Solana network can keep up, Kadena will need to scale to 100 chains. I'm trying to think if I did that right. Pretty sure that's about right. So you can just see on a chart here, that's Kadena at 9 million a day. That's Solana just at 120 million, 130 million. So how OpenSea did this right here, like Ethereum did 1.1 billion in transaction volume last month. That was total revenue is 1.1 billion on Ethereum, 2.75, 2.57 on OpenSea, 120 on Uniswap, Binance 84, PancakeSwap 59. And that's why I say it's so important for a DEX to launch on Kadena, because that's what drives the price and the ecosystem up. That's what makes the ecosystem thrive, is these DEX, because then new products can launch and the tokens can be listed. They can do IDOs on that DEX. They can do a whole bunch of different things. But right now, if a product wanted to launch, I mean, it's a little bit different launching a ERC20 token and then bridging it to Kadena versus just waiting just to launch on Kadena. So I think a lot of products are going to be waiting to do their token sales, and then those token sales most likely will be done in Kadena, which then generates more revenue. People need to buy more Kadena. And that's what it's kind of like. Every time a project launches on one of these ecosystems, you normally buy their coins with that native asset. Now, I don't know if maybe they'll buy them with KDX tokens. So maybe it'll be better for KDX when they launch, because everybody will be buying their tokens or their coins with KDX. I'm not really sure, but it's going to be exciting, guys. But that's why I'm trying to tell people, like, people are like, oh man, you're hating on Kadena. I'm like, no, I'm not hating on Kadena, guys. Not at all. I love KDX. I love Kadena. The only reason is it's just not fair for you guys, man. I probably could have got those KDX tokens. I probably could have bought them from somebody. I could have had a buddy do it for me, and I could have just acted like, hey, cool, it's cool. You guys want to whatever, KYC people? That's cool, you know? And I could act like it was no big deal. Or I could say, hey guys, it's not fair. I'll just wait. I'll buy my KDX tokens when everybody else does, when everybody has a fair opportunity to buy them. And if I miss out on a few bucks, I miss out on a few bucks. But I felt bad because I brought them on my show and I vouched for them. And then they told us everybody was going to be able to buy some. And then a bunch of people went out and bought Kadena living in the USA, and they wouldn't have bought Kadena at 20 bucks. They wouldn't have bought it at 15 bucks. There's been and then I put out 2 videos showing that I was doing it. So I bought, $34,000 worth of Kadena, and now I'm probably down $14,000 because of it. And the only reason I bought it was to buy KDX. But if I would have known that we had to KYC, I wouldn't have done that, So I'm nothing against KDX, nothing against Kadena. It's just a bummer that we were led to believe that we were going to have the fair chance to buy that coin. So I'm not mad at Kadena. I'm not mad at KDX. I just don't want to promote it on the show when I know that 90% of my viewers can't partake. It's just that simple. So I'll wait for you guys to be able to buy, and we'll all buy together, and we'll have a good time and make a ton of money. They have to follow the regulatory rules. It is what it is. I thought that they were a DEX. I thought that they were standing up Flux nodes so that no matter what the government wanted to do, they were a decentralized whatever, I thought that's what we thought. We had a DAO, let the community vote, let the DAO vote what they want to do with it. I just think it'd be, do what Sunday Swap did, right? Don't do a pre-sale, reward people for staking Kadena and make people earn their tokens. That way everybody that bought Kadena could use that Kadena to get rewarded in their KDX, And I know we've been rating on wrapped ETH, right? We need wrapped ETH. They're doing a lot of different things. Kadena's a lot more complicated than most blockchains, so it's going to take a lot longer. It just, there's many ways to solve that problem for launching a DEX. And, hopefully maybe what we might see for Kadena, what would be awesome, is if another DEX launched. So if there's another DEX that's already in the works, that's ready to roll, another DEX could launch, Coin Bureau could launch a video. Many, many things can happen that could send Kadena to the moon because it is superior. But I think a lot of people are waiting just to see how the market's going to play out. I think a lot of people are just sitting on the sidelines waiting, just like we were on Cardano. I think so many people got, kind of butthurt on Cardano when things just didn't launch on time. And I think that that's what people are kind of wondering about Kadena. Like once people see that people can build on Kadena and that there's a DEX and there's an ecosystem, this coin's going to the absolute moon and there's going to be no stopping it. There's going to be a lot of FUD coming out, like Quai Network. I got a great video coming out explaining that one. We do have some serious competitors like Elf Zero launching on Polkadot, claiming 100,000 transactions per second. Now, we thought Solana was a lot with 65,000, but they've done some test on testnet that's been really impressive. So I haven't got to interview their team yet. I have them coming on a show I'm pretty sure I got them coming on a show. I put out a video of it. I tried to do my best to explain what Elf Zero is, but I just don't understand the tech. And I know like when HBAR says that they can do 10K transactions per second because they have that DAG structure. But in HBAR, they can only do it wallet to wallet, not actually on chain. So we'll see if Elf Zero is actually able to accomplish that. If they can, that's where I'm trying to say is like, you have to be able to scale. Like the second that Kadena ecosystem gets busy, do you know how fast they're going to go to 100 chains? I think they'll be at 1,000 chains, honestly. as long as they don't hit any hiccups, because look at how fast people built on top of Solana. Now, granted, Rust was the programming language, so that is going to play a role. So I forgot about that. Maybe it won't scale as fast, but once people pick up Pact, once they figure out how to get Pact in universities and get professors there teaching it. So I keep saying Kadena's been a 5-year play this whole time. And every single video about every single coin that we talk about buying, what are we talking about? We hunt moonshots, and we're doing what? Stacking Kadena, stacking Kadena, stacking Kadena. That's it, boys and girls. My outlook has never changed. Definitely butthurt that things aren't launching on time. It's a disappointment, right? I wish we were updated more. I wish Kadena had a YouTube channel like Charles, and they put out videos every day, like updating the community on what's going on, even if it's a 5-minute video, even if it's a podcast, not even a video, just an audio recording, 5 minutes on Twitter, whatever. That'd be sweet, you know? Don't get me wrong, I'm sure they're busy, but they have to be at a point where they have one employee that could just keep us updated, you know? I think that's what's one of the most important parts about any ecosystem. So if I had to take a guess, I would say right now, the second that a DEX launches, I think we'll be en route to 100. I think that it's very, very achievable or realistic to think that many people are going to be wanting to pull money off exchanges and take that much more money out of circulation. And then we'll be able to see those IDOs. So that's going to require more people to sell other coins and get into aping into that early ecosystem development that drives up blockchains like, whoa. So I think that everybody thinks that Kadena, I think everybody in the industry is really starting to, put their eyes on Kadena. So as soon as it does start to go, I think people are going to be like, oh, wow. Like, I want to be in the first Aave type project that launches on Kadena. Oh, wow. I want to be in the first Kadena Kong's NFT, right? Like, I want to be in the first, JPEG style monkey ape Kadena Kong. I think the Kongs are going to go absolutely parabolic, right? There's another really sick, really well put together project that's another NFT project that's going to be launched on Kadena. There's like 4 or 5 really, really good NFT projects already launching on Kadena. So that's going to be exciting. They got Marmalade. They're going to change the industry standard for how NFTs operate. That's going to be exciting. Now, how long is it going to take for these things to happen? I don't know. But they're going to have to do quite a few things along the way to make sure that they can scale and meet this demand, because once this demand starts, your blockchain has to be able to handle it. And that's why I keep telling everybody, like, Ethereum is where all the money's at. Now, I could not find how much money Solana is generating. So Solana's got to be generating quite a bit too. I don't know why I couldn't find that number. They just showed me all like the Ethereum project. So this is where having somebody like Guy or, even BitBoy or any of these other guys that have research teams that can really just sit there all day and put together and like research all of this great information that you kind of want to see. You're like, wow, I can't believe how much money Ethereum is doing per day, per week, per month. And people on OpenSea, like, that's why it's hard to flip ETH, because ETH is generating that much money for its users, whether that be miners or rewards, OpenSea from sellers, right? Like, these people are generating bank over here. It's why, same reason why people use exchanges. Like, why do we want to pay an exchange and use those fees, right? Because they make it convenient for us to buy, sell, trade, hodl crypto. Now you can leverage trade, you can gamble, you can enter raffles, get in IDOs, play games. It's wild over there. Run bots. Like before, back in the day, like in 2016, I was programming Gunnybot. It was like a little GUI that ran on the side of my computer, and you had to like know what indicator, like the I don't know, I just had a bunch of like crazy command codes, and it would like open up on like a web user face. When it got like to the next level where it actually got to like the user interface, it was sweet. We weren't able to pull out an app on our phone and trade crypto, with bots. I did it for us. So looking at the charts, we've just been buying this zone, but I got so much Kadena right now, I don't really need to buy more over $10. So when it's down in this range, if I'm earning extra cash and I'm making some yields on some stuff I got staked, or I'm flipping a few NFTs, sure, heck yeah, I'll take some more gains. Especially down in the 8s, I've been nailing. Every time it goes down to 8, I've just been picking it up. When Kadena goes back up to $17, I'm not that excited. I'm not selling Kadena at 17. I'm not selling Kadena at 30. I'm not selling Kadena at 50, right? So if Kadena starts to go up here, it's like, sweet, I'm excited. My bankroll is growing. My portfolio is growing. But I'm over here like, damn, if it would have stayed down here for another month, I would have bought another $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 worth. And then that 8, when it goes to 40, is 5x. 5x when it goes from 8 just to 40, right? That's 5x. So if I can get another $2,000 down here, or $3,000 or $5,000 down when it's $8 or $9 or $10, right? 5,000 becomes 50,000. 5,000 becomes 25,000 when it just goes up to 40 something, or 50. By the time it's 50 for sure. Anything I bought under 10 is 5x. So because it's been down here, these last 4 times, I've been able to accumulate well over like 3,000. Yeah, I'm over 17,000. So a little over 2,000 something now. I've been able to 2,000 more coins I've been able to accumulate of Kadena down here. That's great. You know, so if it goes up to 50, I'm still not selling it. And if it goes up to 50 and KDX isn't on yet, I got nothing to do with it. I can't earn rewards on it. I can't stake it. I don't want to sell it. So I'm kind of sitting here with my thumb in my butt, you know, just like one in my butt, one in my thumb, like shit. Hope I don't suck the wrong thumb. Shit, you know what I'm saying? Like what? Yeah, that's what I don't get. Everybody's like, I'm excited. Yeah, it's great. But I'm not disappointed that it's not running. I'm not. I'm just working harder, accumulating more of it. You know, that's been the strategy. You know, when it took up off here, I was butthurt. I was still like just under 15,000 coins then. And then I bought another 20,000 worth over here. Another 16,000 worth over here. So if Kadena hits $100 right now, the market cap would need to be roughly about $17 billion, which is very, very achievable. Like I think Kadena could do that so quick. Especially when people see that they can scale again, because as soon as things start getting built on top of it and they go to that next level, I would take a look at how many transactions they're doing per day. If you guys can figure out how many transactions Kadena is doing per day, and then see how many more transactions they would have to do to hit 9 million, and then figure that, and then see how many times. You get where I'm going with this? Like you need to see how busy the network needs to get. So if they're this busy right now and nothing's going on in the network, if you could figure out how many transactions Kadena is doing basically per day, especially when KDX actually launches and there's actually like things going on their ecosystem, you could probably calculate pretty quick how fast they're going to need to scale up to the next chain requirement. Because when they turn on that next set of chains, the entire world's going to be watching. And it's going to be mind-blowing. That alone, I think every time Kadena does a chain scale, it'll be similar to a Bitcoin halving. I just wanted to make some wild predictions. I think they'll call it the chain halving or the chain scale or something like that. It'll turn into like the Bitcoin halving. Like when is the next Kadena chain scaling thing? It'll be like a big thing 10 years from now. Your kids' will probably be talking about their kids' first chain scaling. Wouldn't that be pretty cool and wild? That's all I got, squad. Bummed out we couldn't jump in that KDX, you know, but it is what it is. We'll participate in it together. I'm not worried about waiting on it. I'm not worried about missing out on it. I think they're going to crush it. Sucks that they got to follow regulations, is what it is, right? I'm ready to ape into some KDX. I'm ready to ape some more into Kadena. I don't know about you guys. Sucks that the market's kind of going down right now, but is what it is, guys. Might be a long crypto-ish, bearish market right now, or it might go up parabolic from here. You never know. Just normally when we see these things that it takes off, how Bitcoin has done it, I don't know if it's just how the market's playing out. You ever see how Bitcoin's just so bearish and then out of nowhere it's like, all right, little baby green candle, and then ginormous green candle, parabolic, and everybody's like, yeah, market's up, yeah, bull runs back on. When Lambos. Those markets are awesome, right? We're all sitting here like, man, we can't wait for that market to come back. But when the market's not like that, these are the times you just gotta, the market gets unrestful, man. People get irritated. People get butt hurt, you know? People are frustrated. It's not as fun when your portfolio's down 65K, you know? And that's why I'm so excited for DeFi to pop off over here, because we should be making, with all of our Kadena in DeFi done right, we should be able to earn quite substantially large amount of passive income. So that's why I'm just dying for one of these dexes to pop off here. And every day that it goes by, it's like kind of irritating that we want to ape, you know? We want to get into DeFi, but hopefully one of these dexes will be up here running very shortly, and I'm sure we'll be making some sweet gains, and I'm sure it's going to be worth the wait. So shout out to the KDX team, shout out to the Kadena team. Best price predictions for Kadena going into 2023, I would say upwards of $100. If everything gets popping, once DeFi gets running, I think 100 to 200 is very achievable, and that's even with the inflation. So even if they put out another 25 or 50 million coins out into circulation over the next year and a half, I think that we'll still see hit those numbers. As long as everything turns on and everything can be running on top of it. And once it does, and once things like Luna and all these other ecosystems bridge to Kadena, I think it's going to be that interoperability hub that most ecosystems, most chains use to scale because it's gas free. So see how it goes. And there's going to be a couple of fire ones also launching. So check out my Elf Zero video and check out my Quay network video too. Those are pretty interesting projects. If you jump over here, and I'm going to leave links to all of these things down below as well. We're going to track down the tech, and we're going to see what tech doesn't come out on top. Love you guys. Peace.
Problems I solve them. I run through the money, the pressure be calling. Left on my blessings, I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back, tell me I'm garbage. I'm going through something, that's why I ain't calling. Phone and progression, it's all that I wanted. The phone in affection, I summon and dub it. Cause bitch, I got problems I solve them. I run through the